Lego meets keyboard in today's video. This is the Kit Adam X by KBDcraft, and it's configurable in 3 variants entirely made of bricks. In this review I'm really keen to find out what it's like to build a Lego keyboard, and whether the keyboard is actually any good. Before we begin, I want to let you know that this video was sponsored by KBDcraft. They provided the Kit Adam X free of charge for the purpose of this review, but rest assured all opinions here today are completely my own and unbiased. Alright, let's take a look at the unboxing, and this might be a bit longer than usual because you get 3 separate boxes with loads of goodies, but I'll try to keep it as fast as I can. I'm going to go over what's in the 2 smaller boxes first. Okay, first up you're getting all the parts for building the Adam SE case, including 2 bags of bricks, the build manual, gaskets, rubber case pads, and finally the base plate. So then in the second box, it's pretty much all the equivalent parts you'll need for building up the numpad. Now onto the real fun. This box contains all the rest of the parts, and straight away the presentation had me geeking. I can't lie. Right, let's fly through everything you're getting in this box. A couple of bonus Minecraft figures, some more bricks to build up the full size configuration, a tube of S2 engine switches, a full set of keycaps, the numpad PCB, a couple of packs of stabilizers, the USB-A to USB-C cable, full size build manual, the full size base plates, the main PCB, some foams on the numpad plate, more gaskets and case feet, the cable for connecting the main and numpad PCBs together, the main plate, and finally a dual keycap and switch bar. So yeah, it goes without saying, but KBDcraft absolutely smashed it out of the park with this unboxing. And with the unboxing out of the way, let's start by building up the base 60% configuration. I'm not going to be doing an in-depth build along or build guide or anything like that because I do think it's important to get the full unique build experience for yourself. So what you're seeing on screen are just some incremental steps in getting to the finished build. I do want to say the build process is super easy and straightforward to follow. As someone who's built and tried many keyboards, I do have to say that I really did nerd out whilst building a keyboard fully made out of Lego. And you really are getting the full keyboard building experience here. Alright, with the build process out of the way, I'm going to start by taking a surface level look at the keyboard. So the board has this pretty iconic feeling retro theme that KBDcraft is known for. You can clearly see the seams where the various bricks connect together, but at the same time it's got that smooth sloping front edge, giving the board just an overall really unique feel. So with this Kit Adam X bundle, you can either configure a standalone 60% layout with a separate numpad, or combine them together to create this interesting layout that KBDcraft are calling 80%. I bet you've not seen a keyboard that has a numpad but no function row before. Now I don't know if it's just down to the way I built mine or not, but in the 80% configuration the board actually bows, creating a pretty annoying wobble as you type. I didn't experience this on the 60%. I do also want to point out this gap in the numpad. I can understand there being a bit of a gap between the main alphas and the numpad, but I'm not really sure why there'd be a gap down the middle of the numpad. So in terms of build quality, obviously this isn't official Lego, but the bricks feel every bit as good. Naturally enough, the end product comes out pretty lightweight, so you'll have no bother bringing it around or propping it up on something for display purposes. I was really impressed that KBDcraft came to a gasket mounting solution on this board, and it actually performs really well. The underside is about as plain as you'd expect, with just the rubber pads that I installed. The back edges are straight compared to the sloping nature of the front, and back there you're going to have a USB-C port, which yeah, I don't think they could have done much of a better job on a keyboard of this nature. Now you'll notice that there's 2 ports on the back, and I had assumed that connecting the 2 PCBs via the included cable would mean you didn't have to plug the keyboard in twice. But I couldn't seem to get that working. Back on the surface then, let's talk a little bit more about the layout. As I mentioned, it's definitely a unique combination of keys. I think it's cool having a shorter form factor of a 65% board with the addition of a numpad, but I'm personally not a fan of these single 1U right shift keys. I find the adjustment in muscle memory a little too hard where I just keep hitting the up arrow, but that might not be a problem for everyone. The included keycaps are in the KOP Keytalk OEM profile, which have a unique shape to them and top center aligned legends. I think they look alright, but they feel pretty light and cheap to me. For switches, the kit comes with the S2 engine prelude linears. They're a mega light 36-gram switch that feel effortless to type on. On that, I was actually impressed by the typing experience you're getting on a literal keyboard made of Lego bricks. Don't get me wrong, I don't think it can really compete with the level we've gotten to in regular custom keyboards these days, but I would have to say it certainly beats out some mainstream keyboards. So the kit also comes with RGB backlighting, but I wasn't able to alter it at all using the keyboard shortcuts for some reason. To change the mode and increase the brightness, I had to do so via the customization tool. Which leads me nicely onto that. This keyboard comes with full vial support. Admittedly, it's my first time coming across this particular tool, but it's browser based so you don't have to go downloading any weird softwares, which is always a plus. Alright, as always, it's time to play the sound test before I leave you my closing remarks and recommendations. So, to round things off, I think the Kit Adam X is a really cool niche kind of creation that really redefines what it means to build a keyboard. The packaging felt like a real treat and the build process was super engaging and felt exactly like building real Lego. I don't think this type of keyboard really ever aims to compete in terms of overall build quality or typing experience, yet it does a damn good job for what it is. Although lightweight, it doesn't feel particularly flimsy, and it has what I would call a decent typing experience in terms of both sound and feel. So in terms of recommendations, I think it's definitely a novelty pick. I think it'd be great for anybody who loves Lego and has a remote kind of interest in keyboards. So yeah, that concludes this review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, consider dropping a like and subscribing because it really helps the channel and it's free to do. Another huge thanks to the people over at KBDcraft for making this video possible.
Just need some time, but if you wanna